just a couple of days ago, I actually listened to a webinar that was put on by Industry Week, and it was mostly about the state of manufacturing in China. All right, so as we all know, that the pandemic just took us through a lot of ups and downs. And so the facilitator spoke about how manufacturing in China is really down now. It's terrible. And that people are sitting around trying to figure out if they're going to stay in business and all of that. And so, but, you know, when I speak to people here in the States, it seems to be pretty good. So what is the state of manufacturing in North Carolina? I mean, are things really as good as it's been for several years and in the recent months? So maybe, Scott, you can start us out. How's business for you in North Carolina?
Yes, I mean, I can't speak for the state. I can certainly talk more for East Northern Carolina and round about the sort of Pitt County area. And I mean, one of the key metrics is trying to recruit people into manufacturing just now is very, very difficult. And it has been since the pandemic. In terms of, maybe if I look at it, we're sold out. So our capacity, we're sold out. I know that our next door neighbours, Thermo Fisher, which you would expect after the pandemic, they are growing like crazy. We have Hyster Yale, we have Grady White Boats, we have a lot of manufacturers, and all of them you can see we are hiring signs outside them. So I think that says a lot positively about how manufacturing is going. The fact that, you know, we are trying to get talent, and it's a real challenge. You know, it used to be, we were talking about that yesterday actually with the HR director. It used to be we put an application out and within 4 or 5 days, we'd literally have hundreds of applicants for a technician job. Now we get 10 to 20 applicants. So from my perspective, the area I'm in, manufacturing is healthy. The challenge now is it's more difficult. I think the sort of generation coming through now, it's not as appealing maybe as it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. You know, there's a lot of, I know for my son, he's 22 years old. Yeah, if I was to throw out manufacturing to him, he wants to be blooming into social media or into something that's going to make him very rich quickly. So it's given different challenges, but from my perspective, manufacturing is healthy. And I can absolutely relate to the comment you made about China. DSM just put their quarterly sort of earnings out. And I think they've already shut down 2 of their major manufacturing facilities in China. We've got a Chinese facility, there's 3. We've got one that makes fiber in Laiwu in China. They've been struggling. So yeah, I'm aligned with the comments you make, Phil, that yeah, it seems to be struggling in the Far East, but from my perspective, we're pretty healthy.
Yeah, I don't want that to gravitate over here to our states. I just want to make sure that we're good here. What about you, Courtney? I mean, last time I talked with you, you were still busy as far as the eye could see. Is that still there?
Yes, absolutely. I think North Carolina is always been a powerhouse for manufacturing. That probably speaks to why we were founded here in 1947. And we have a low cost of doing business in our state compared to other states. We have a competitive tax rate. I know nationally there's 13 million manufacturing workers, and that's the highest level of manufacturing workers that we've had since 2008. I think I saw that there were we averaged 783 over the last 12 months, 780,000 manufacturing job openings for our sector. So I think that speaks to just how fast growing manufacturing is in our country. And I'm hearing from our customers, we still receive steady quote activity, nearshoring, not only people wanting to bring parts back to our country, but also even manufacturing plants that, due to labor challenges, are looking to local machine shops like Ketchie to help them, to be an extension of them, to outsource.
Wow.
So very strong.
But on the other hand, Jerry, they might want to make fancy machines to keep things up. Are you still getting orders for these systems that companies use to try to mitigate maybe some of the workforce issues?
Yeah, certainly that has affected our business. Everybody wants a machine to do projects at this time, and you go back a couple of years ago, we were slam busy. We have shipped a lot of machines. A project for us is a year long, so it kind of delays things. But I will say we've seen shifts in our customers from automotive. Courtney, you had to see some of this from automotive. It seems to have switches to medical and consumer goods, and it seems like it's changed. We're good in this state with adapting to different things. We have a lot of skilled employees all over. I'll brag about the employee workforce in North Carolina. So all things are good here. And yes, people want robots to put things together when it has a good return on investment.
So Gary, I'm hearing 3 manufacturers say that things are great in North Carolina in terms of manufacturing. I know you kind of operate a manufacturing council with your unit there. What are they telling you?
Yeah, no, well, thank you, Phil. It's good to be with you. And thank you all for what you do every day to be the pillars of your communities and have good jobs. Because it takes those good manufacturing jobs that are the backbones that make our community strong. And yeah, echoing a lot of what has been said. And I think it's the talent piece is real, and getting to our young people, having them learn more about the incredible work that's going on. It's, what do they say? I've heard it a number of times. It's not your father's or grandfather's manufacturing anymore. It's different. It is got a lot of good stuff going on and a lot of talent that can be utilized in different ways. So we're competitive. We're really competitive along a lot of dimensions. And not only do we want to be the state that has the good capacity for talent that we do with our high schools, community college systems, we want to continue to be a state that attracts talent from all over the world. And we're in a good spot now. We're competitive. We can use some more sites for expansions and for further investments. I know that the good folks at EDP&C and others are working on that, but it's good, it is strong, and we have a great opportunity to create generational difference here for our grandchildren if we just stay the course and preserve and protect and invest in things we need to continue to grow.
Yeah. So Eric, with all of this movement in manufacturing toward technology, it probably keeps you guys a little bit busier, because with all this technology and Mr. Robot making his things, and I think it makes it a little bit more complex to run a factory, right? With all of the data management and cyber issues. What are you seeing with your manufacturing clients?
Sure. So to kind of echo some of the things that have already been said, we talk to our clients on a regular basis, kind of look at their business outlook, right? For us, it's more business and less tech. And we heard consistently across all of our manufacturing and construction companies that, hey, it's gangbusters. I think one of them told us, 2022 is a record year for them as a company, and they've been around 40 years, and 2023 is even ahead of that. We're hearing a lot of less we can't get product and a lot more we can't get people, and that's kind of the sticking point. It's easy to put systems in and do that. It's doing the long tail things that are a lot harder, right? And a lot of our customers are doing the same thing. We used to, from a recruiting standpoint, you post and pray. And now we see HR as kind of the opposite side of the growth and sales coin. And even as us, as a 30-person company, we're probably the smallest in this group, we have a full-time dedicated person to doing nothing but HR, but in recruiting. But from a cyber standpoint, yeah, it's worse and worse and worse, right? Because manufacturing, I think there's this preconceived notion that manufacturing can kind of fly under the radar. FBI's own report showed that manufacturing as a group was like 13-14% of all cyber-related breaches. So people are out there looking at the stuff and really swinging hard at it. And we see a lot of our businesses, our customers, really getting focused in on this, because it's no longer kind of something that they can kind of do on the side. It's a business ending event if it's bad enough, and people are finally starting to take notice and implement the systems in place that they need to protect their businesses, both short and long term.
Yeah. So Dr. Mullany, I know you're focused on manufacturing in your research work. Now, what are you learning about the evolution of manufacturing? Is there things that you're working on that kind of gives us an indication of where things were going and how that might help some of these challenges?
Yeah, well, for sure. I mean, I do conventional manufacturing, but even doing that, bringing in more the digital is coming into everything that we do. And a lot of the manufacturing faculty embrace that and bring it into the classroom and expose it to the students, which is great. Going forward here, actually, we have a lot of recent new hires in manufacturing here at UNCC, and all of them have a digital component to their work, either machine learning or human in the loop, or visual guided maintenance and so forth. So I think getting the students that exposure for us is exciting. I think they come in with thinking what manufacturing is, but I don't think they realize all the bells and whistles that you have to have with it. It's not just, you won't be able to just do it with a wrench anymore. You've got to be able to take the computer out and hook it up to a computer and do the diagnostics and program and all that. So they're getting the exposure to that. And even like people, I've been doing this for 20 years here, nearly in Charlotte and longer before, so even me over the years have had to evolve and change, So I think it's exciting that we have a lot of the new people coming in. We're seeing more of the cross collaboration between computer science and manufacturing, which is, I think, good to see. And I think we'll probably see more computer science students work in the manufacturing and vice versa, So on that side, I think it's looking bright here, It'll take a while for all those to get out into the work environment, but I think the prognosis is good. Certainly, too, like at a federal or government level, I've seen so much of it in the last few years is pushing the manufacturing agenda at the highest levels in the government, and how curriculum has to adapt to manufacturing needs, which I think is kind of interesting. There was a recent report there from the National Academies, kind of even suggesting that ABET needs to reconsider what they put the emphasis on in manufacturing, and that every student must get manufacturing exposure and have the realization part, not just the design, but the design and realization, because design is one thing, but realizing it is another, So I think that level of priority actually is kind of exciting. I haven't seen that in 20 years. So, I think it's a good time.